What's up, guys? So you're here with episode 4 of Super Korosu World. And the last time I took a while to get past this check over here in that shell jump. The rest of the level is really fun, though. I haven't played in a couple of days, so I'm probably going to die a lot to whatever's in this pipe, but I'm excited to get going. Okay, so I need to remember how to, spin bounce off of saws well, because I remember they have a weird hitbox. I'm pretty sure it's just like a really small square inside of them instead of actually looking like the full like 2 tiles or whatever that they are. And then it looks like I'm going to have to find a positioning to stay safe from that Potaboo, and then it looks like a different type of gray platform. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, those gray platforms drop faster. It's been a while since I've... Okay, so I basically gotta wait. Do I catch it on the way back then? Because that looks kind of like the jump that I did in level 1, where I had to jump past the Goomba. Okay, so I actually really like that section with the screen scroll, so I'm just gonna keep doing that, because I think that's what you're supposed to do anyway. One, two, okay. So, I basically need to come up with a visual cue on when to jump onto that saw. It looks like it moves a little bit faster than I'm used to, so I'm gonna guess it's probably at about Muncher 4. I think Muncher 4 would give me a little bit of leeway, and if I feel like I'm jumping wrong, I could still probably double back onto it and try again. I'm trying to do like 3 little bounces, but now that I'm thinking about it, it may just be easier for me to do like 1 big bounce up to there, because the ceiling's pretty low. So I'm going to try to do that. Okay, so good news is the jump worked. The bad news is trying to do it without the screen scroll meant that I got trolled by that Potaboo. So I'm beginning to think that the screen scroll is, if not required, probably recommended, because that's a lot smaller of a gap than I realized. And this just makes it a lot easier. Yeah, that just makes it so much easier that I feel like that has to be what's required. And then you catch the saw on the way out, as the Potaboo is out of the way. So, scroll. And by the way, I guess I never actually talked about this in episodes 1, 2, or 3, but when the creator gives you... Oh, okay, I'll talk about that in a second. When the creator gives you multiple tiles like that, where you can see Munchers 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like Cement Block 1, it's a lot easier to use visual cues that way instead of trying to break it out by subpixels. Like, I'll just explain what that is if you don't know. So basically, if I wanted to break the game down into tiles, I could just use like Cement Block 1, or like over to the left there's a Cement Block and a Muncher. Like each of those is 1 tile by 1 tile. Mario can only jump like 5 tiles by like 4 or something like that with a regular one, and it's like 5 by 2 with a spin jump, I think. Maybe 4 by 2, I don't really remember, to be honest. But basically the game's broken down into tiles and stuff like that, and then in each of those tiles you have like actual pixels that decorate the tile. So I'm standing on top of like the oval, or the horizontal oval, and then in front of me are 2 like vertical ovals or whatever. Using that level of detail in your visual cues is really important to be able to set up jumps and stuff like that. Oh, hey there, Potaboo, coming back. So I kind of just had to react to that and didn't really have time to talk to it. But that's interesting, because that definitely confirms that the... By the way, I had no idea that that was coming. That was just a really lucky pause on my part, and then I ended up getting to react to it. Like, I promise you that this is 100% blind. But I don't really... I don't remember where the Munchers are, and the retry Brox is like right on top of them this time. But I basically did that okay with regular jumps. I think it's just regular jumps, and then possibly a spin jump off of the last one to avoid going too high. My problem there is I jumped up onto the clouds and was in the area with like the death box and the disco shell, but I wasn't able to actually come back down because the clouds are a one-way. Oh, that's a tight area after I land down there. Scroll, scroll. Jump now. Okay, so it is a spin jump. It might be a full spin jump then, where I go like kind of above the clouds, but not all the way above the clouds. Good news is this level's super consistent, which I really like. The first half is really reliable, even though I suck at shell jumps and stuff like that. The second half, I figured out what to do basically like live, and it's only taken me like 7 minutes to figure out what to do, which is kind of cool for a Kaizo level. That's definitely a spin jump, but I kind of have to pull back a little bit, or I'm going to crash into the top muncher like I did this time. It doesn't look like I pull back all the way though, because I might need P speed and then a spin jump to get through the munchers that are at this dialog box. Because as it fades away, you're going to see there's like a ton. And there's no way I'm going to be able to get through that without, or with a regular jump, I think. Scroll, scroll. Oh, whoops. Okay, so I'm going to try to set up my visual cue here before I reset because I didn't land on this platform. So there's like 2 trapezoids, 2 triangles, and then 2 trapezoids again or whatever. I've been basically jumping at trapezoid, or the trapezoid all the way to the right, because I wanted to get as much clearance over that muncher as possible. But I'm beginning to think that I actually might want to clear that muncher basically like on my way down. So I might want to try to jump more towards trapezoid 4, even maybe into like the middle of the platform, I guess. So these gray platforms actually seem to fall a little slower than the other one. I wonder if what I need to do is like land on the right of the gray platform I'm trying to land. Oh, by the way, there's that there's that cement block that I just now saw that I keep dying to, which is why I keep messing this jump up a little bit more. So it looks like it might actually just be the same rhythm as this jump then. Because something that I've noticed with this level designer is that he's really good at giving you like forcing you to learn a jump before giving you a more difficult version of that jump, like directly after, I guess. Incremental level design's really cool, and it kind of forces you to like learn the basics of a gimmick and then play with it a lot, which in my opinion is like one of the best way you can build levels, which is why I've been feeling this hack like quite a lot. So I'm basically just going to need to, I believe, use the same rhythm across both of those, and then keep P-speed, I would guess, to quickly go through the munchers after that. So good news is I did that, bad news is I pulled back too far. It doesn't even really look like I need to pull back if I jump from trapezoid 4, which is nice. By the way, if you hold spin jump for too long, you end up making it up to the clouds, even when you jump from there. So it's like a 90% spin jump, which is kind of awkward, but kind of fun too. So I'm actually going to use this life to try to figure out how long of a timer I have for these gray platforms, because honestly I'm not 100% familiar with them. And I don't know what's coming next in the level, so I might as well use this life and just try to take it now. So given how the level designer has gone in the past, I'm willing to probably believe that if I just ride this gray platform, I'll be able to basically jump off of it as high as Mario can possibly jump. The level designer put this first gray platform jump 5 tiles above a pit. He also did the same thing with 3 tiles above a pit in the beginning, where it accelerated too far. I didn't actually jump, but it kind of looked like I was right, where I have about 4 tiles of leeway with these ones instead of 3. It may be way more detailed than any viewer actually needs, but as someone who's like potentially trying to speedrun this game, I wanted to learn a little bit more about it. Yeah, so it looks like I actually have 4 tiles of leeway with these ones instead of 3 where it accelerates too fast. So maybe these ones just don't have that quick acceleration after a certain time. Ah, dang it. I almost got it. My little toe clipped into the turn part of that right there. Okay, so it's still a tight jump like I kind of figured it was, but I did gain a little bit more actual information, so that's good. It looks like I probably will have to keep P-speed to get through here with the clearance that I need, which makes the stairs at the next part look kind of annoying. I don't know what I'm supposed to do over there yet, but downward stairs to a pit. Okay, so you don't have to keep P-speed through there, which is nice. You do have to be running, but you don't have to keep P-speed. Oh god. Okay, so looks like I'm gonna have to basically ride this as far as I can down, so it's a good thing that I learned that I can basically use it as much as I need to, and then I'm gonna have to catch that saw and ride it for a little bit. I'm not really used to riding the saw, so I'm probably gonna die by going too fast or too slow, because I'm not really sure of its hitbox beyond just bouncing off of it once. So it is on the row right here, so one below me is 2, 3, 4, so I can basically ride this as long as I need to jump through here, it looks like. Okay, so good news is it doesn't actually really look like a very long saw bounce. It looks like I just kind of have to catch it and bounce off of it again, which is a little bit more doable for me than trying to like continuously ride it. After that, I'm probably going to have to ride that gray platform about down to the bottom of the screen, because that's about how much clearance I have with it. Don't know what's after that, but I'm excited about how much progress I'm making in this level, because this has only been 20 real minutes. I don't know how long it's going to be when I edit it, but 20 minutes for a Kaizo section is pretty cool for me, I guess. Especially with how consistent that is, wow. Okay, so what happens if I don't screen scroll? Oh, that just is gone. Okay. Do these come back? Okay, they do. So I'm gonna screen scroll to the left. Jump to triangle 2. And then spin jump it and see what happens. Okay. So I gotta wait for that to fall for a pretty long time, probably right before the bottom of the screen, I would guess. And then it looks like I didn't actually see what direction the saw was going, but it's in the middle, so I can adjust accordingly. I hope it bounces off the wall and then back to the middle by the time I get through there, but the fact that it is in the middle is pretty encouraging. Okay, so screen scroll left. Okay. I accidentally screen scrolled left twice, so I'm gonna apparently set up a different visual cue here. Okay. So, interesting comparison notes here. I actually really like, I don't know if these are, I feel like these actually are intended screen scrolls, because I feel like these saws keep despawning unless you screen scroll, which is kind of cool. So if I screen scroll twice at the bottom of the stairs, the saw doesn't spawn until I'm like jumping, which is interesting. If I only screen scroll once to the left, and get like a half screen scroll, I guess, the saw spawns basically as I'm jumping onto the platform. So I should be able to play around with that timing and find a consistent visual cue for this part. So it looks like I can actually hold that spin jump back there a little bit longer than I was giving myself credit for. I can basically have Luigi's head peeking out like through the cloud, and as long as the bottom half of the hitbox doesn't go through it seemed to be okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the bottom of these stairs, screen scroll twice, and then spin jump, and then spin jump. That seems to be pretty good. In the interest of doing a little bit faster, I kind of want to compare and see what screen scrolling once actually does once I get through there, but I am going to go with screen scrolling twice for now. Okay, cool. So screen scroll twice, spin jump, wait a while, spin jump, wait a very long time, and then regular jump up there. I have no idea what the fuck that jump is through that two tile gap right there. I'm hoping there's like one of those gray platforms that the Hammer Brothers ride right there or something, and I can at least line that up because that jump right now is looking like ass. Alright, I'm going to try to explain this run with my visual cues and hope that it works. So basically what I do when I get through this pipe is I spin jump over, screen scroll twice holding R, wait for it to bounce off the wall right there, bounce off of those, spin jump off that, do a quick turn back, and then spin jump through there holding forward. It's very surprisingly consistent actually, like it looks way tighter than it actually feels like it is. This part I just basically have to hold right and then jump at the right time. I tried to actually regular jump that time, but I think I started running a little bit too early because I got scared that I was going to hit the muncher that ended up being above me. I'm going to assume that this next part is that platform that I assumed it was, where that's like the gray platform with the wings that the Hammer Brothers ride in this game. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I guess I'll just edit when I get to that jump finally. God, that's so consistent. Okay, so it is exactly what I thought it was, which is cool. So this makes this a little bit more doable, I think, because I could just jump right now. Okay. So good news, bad news is we're again ending this with a shell jump, but it looks like the rest of the level might actually be a lot more consistent for me than the first half of this level. I haven't actually done it all together yet, so I guess I can't say that for sure, but it feels like I'm getting there pretty reliably. And these visual cues I happen to make at the beginning of the level seem to be like pretty spot on most of the time. So be right back, I guess. Scroll, scroll, bounce, bounce. Regular jump, spin, jump, turn back, spin, jump. Scroll, scroll, spin, spin, wait, jump. Okay. That seems to be a good rhythm for that, so I'll just repeat that to myself mentally now instead of on camera. Oh, damn it, I made it up there too. Damn it. Okay, so this jump up to this platform is actually a little bit tougher than I gave it credit for that first time. You basically have to wait until the falling gray platform is almost off screen because of how tight of a jump it is. You can't do a spin jump because of how narrow the gap is, so you have to do a regular jump, and Mario ascends vertically a lot faster with a regular jump apparently than a spin jump. So it's proven to be a little bit trickier to get back to this winged platform than I gave it credit for initially. Okay, so maybe if I more specifically explain my visual cue for this part, I'll be able to get it. So what I do here is I screen scroll left twice to basically despawn the saw completely, even when I jump onto this next gray platform, until I'm basically jumping through the gap. And I'm going to need to basically, like, I already have the muscle memory for it, so I just need to hold left, wait, spin jump. I waited a little bit too long, but what you want to do is wait until the gray platform is basically just past those vertical concrete blocks and on one tile basically above the bottom of the screen. And then you spin jump through there, you basically just hold right onto the next platform. And then you have to kind of play chicken with that gray platform for a while as you transition back over to a regular jump. And basically as the platform's like falling off the screen, I've noticed, you have to try to jump off of it. It's a pretty tight jump, and honestly I've actually only made it back to the gray platform part once. Or actually I haven't made it back to the gray platform part once. I made it back to the part before the gray platform part once, since I've initially been there. So, while the rest of the level seems to be fairly consistent, this jump has definitely kicked my ass. Alright, finally back here. And then after this is... why did I spin jump there? I have to wait until basically the gray winged platform is touching the concrete and then do either a spin jump or a regular jump. I did it with a regular jump last time. I don't know why I did it with a spin jump this time. And then I have to spin jump off of the Bowser fire after this. I'm assuming it's another just hold right situation, sort of, because that seems to be how most of the rest of this level's lining up. It could be right with a slight turn back, I guess, because the level creator has made you do a couple turn backs also. And since I haven't actually explained what a turn back is, basically when you're jumping right here, you actually have to kind of tap left and then repress right really quick. You don't want to just hold right because you're going to jump into the top of the or the muncher on the ceiling, I guess. So what you have to do is instead kind of like kill your momentum slightly and then re-get your momentum. It's kind of a fun thing the Mario World lets you do, where you just go left, right, and then you end up basically like kind of pausing your jump, like acceleration a little bit. It's really cool. Okay, so on the bright side, my visual cues for that part are consistent, at least. And it does look like that's basically just a full jump through there. Alright, can I do a regular jump now, please? Through here? Okay, so either I have to do a full jump when the wings are off screen, or it has to be a not full jump at, like, before they're going through. That says to me that I can actually probably spin jump through here. Okay. Can I spin jump through here? I jumped way too early. This jump's psyching me out because it's not really that hard, but I just keep trying to set up a visual cue, and instead of just feeling it out and going for it, I kind of just keep dying every time I get there, I think. Okay, so I at least gained slightly more information, which I guess I'm okay with. It's not a full hold over to the right. In fact, it's kind of like a weird... I'm actually going to have to time it out, manually jump probably. And then I have to make sure I don't spin jump onto the shell and destroy it on accident. And then it looks like it's just going to be me falling down and then probably doing a spin jump up to the end. I would love to try that, but I personally have to get going, so for you guys it's just going to be a quick edit, but for me it's probably going to be a while, so... Okay, so this is... Let me put this down. Oh, it's not a shell jump. Okay. This is me jumping and kicking it into, I'm assuming, like that 3-buncher enclosure off to the right, and then jumping off of it. Okay. I guess that involves me kicking it at some point. It didn't really occur to me until I was trying that jump that I would need to jump back onto the gray platform. So feature yourself when you actually have time to do this. You're going to have to jump up, kick the shell into that little enclosure, land on the gray platform, and then run and jump off the gray platform as it's falling. And then probably one more troll before the end, I would guess. But yeah, I'll do that later. Okay. Actually kick it this time, please. Oh wait, this is actually harder than I gave it credit for, because I can't kick it and then jump back down. So I have to basically kick it on the way up and then land. Ooh, okay. So it'll fall 1, 2. Okay, I was closer that time, but that is still hard. Alright, so I'm playing around with the timing a little bit on this spin jump onto the saw. Not this one, but the next saw. Because this part honestly seems a little bit consistent if I just jump now, wait, jump now, spin jump, turn back, go in here, spin jump right there. We've been working on this spin jump a little bit more because the visual cue for it's a little bit more awkward. But I'm pretty sure all I have to do is just wait until the gray platform is a tile or two above the bottom of the screen and then start running and jumping to clear it into that gap consistently. The reason I have the screen scroll set up like that is so the spawn for the saw goes that way and then bounces off the muncher basically as I'm trying to jump through, because then I can just hold right and it kind of trivializes that jump a little bit. Rather than trying to just guess when it's going to land on there, I can control when it spawns and makes it consistent for me. This level is very consistent in terms of its jumps and stuff, which is nice. I really like how it's used both types of gray platforms, because honestly I kind of forgot these other gray platforms are even in Super Mario World. But I like how it explores the differences for it a little bit more. I forgot to jump there. But this jump right here, basically you have to play chicken with the bottom of the screen even more. And basically just try to run and jump like as the platform's like falling off the screen with a regular jump to clear that height. And then after that it's the gray platform with the wing jump that I keep being a little bit more inconsistent at, because I haven't really been there too many times. But I think I'm starting to piece together the end of this level, or at least the part of the end of the level that I've seen. Okay, and then from here, it's just a jump, spin jump. I didn't think I was going to make it onto that spin jump, so I pulled back a little bit too far, and then jump up to there. I'm kind of actually thinking, since I've put a little bit more thought into this, I actually cut for a while and kind of just sat down and thought about this level for a bit. But I'm kind of thinking that I need to see the end of this level again, but I'm thinking I might be able to just kick the shell off as it's falling and then jump from there. I'm not 100% sure if the kick height will work for that, but I'm pretty sure I can get the shell to just like barely clip into there, and then from there it's just a matter of figuring out where I need to be to land on it right, which is obviously easier said than done, but I think I can figure out that part in a couple of attempts at least, because the only thing I haven't figured out with this level yet obviously is how to get that shell into that kind of enclosure at the end of the first place. I admittedly haven't really had very many attempts at it, so I'm hoping I can just edit to the one that I get it, so I'll be right back. By the way, intuitive design for this level, shout out number like million probably. This jump coming up where I have to jump off of this gray falling platform right here, you can see that the designer intentionally left 3 concrete blocks right there instead of just making that a wall into the section. At first I thought that was just an aesthetic design, but it actually ends up showing you exactly when you should be trying to jump off of the platform up until the next one, actually, which ends up giving you a pretty consistent visual cue, as well as teaching you, without you even really realizing it, I guess, that thing basically falls about 3 tiles. So, again, shoutouts to the hack creator for that, because I didn't know that before now. Alright, so I figured out a decent visual cue for this part. After you scroll twice, You basically just don't start running until after those steps pass you, and then you hold right, and basically just don't start running until those cement blocks are there, and then start running right. Okay, so I'm gonna try this and see if this will work. Nope. Oh, you fucking dick! Like, I knew there was gonna be a Kaizo block there, but I was so excited to actually get the kick, and then finally just got blocked. So I gotta imagine that's basically the end of the level. There might be a chuck or something in the end of that tunnel, or a saw possibly coming at me, given the theme of the level. I knew there'd be a Kaizo block somewhere in this level, but he'd actually been pretty nice with them for the most part, so I figured I might actually be okay. Well, never done that without the screen scroll before. On the bright side, I really feel like I'm getting pretty consistent at the rest of this level. Like, at least every time I'm dying now, I kind of understand why I'm dying, like, immediately after. It seems like my setups for this part are pretty consistent. I have a little bit of trouble with that part unless I'm, like, directly focusing on Mario. A lot of the time I'm actually not really directly focusing on Mario, I'm kind of focusing on the rest of the level around Mario. But there are a couple of times that I've had to directly focus on him this time. Alright, cool. That was nice. Save you, shell! One of the problems I have with these bigger gray platforms, and I'm not sure if it's just because they're running a little bit slower or what, but one thing I have noticed is that I kind of keep popping off the end of these bigger gray platforms a little bit more than the little gray platforms in the beginning of the level. Also, I'm pretty sure this shell is, or this like shell enclosure thing is like one tile too far for me to just be able to kick it from the closing platform. So I'm pretty sure I do have to do it on my way up, which is a pretty interesting maneuver. It's one that I think I understand how to do, but I've only pulled off once and then got Kaizo blocked to death, which was heartbreaking. I actually kind of just realized this, but can't I catch the saw on the way back? Just do that? Yeah. Make it even faster. I don't know why it took me like an hour and a half to play this level to even think to do that, but that's definitely a lot faster. Okay. It's a little bit trickier and a little bit less immediately clear of a visual cue, I guess. Just kidding, it's actually a ridiculously easy visual cue thanks to the way he arranged that muncher tile thing back there. But basically, like, the way the saw goes into that enclosure back there, I'll explain it a little bit more now, but basically the way the saw, like, spits out of this, like, one tile gap enclosure right here basically means that you just jump as it comes out of here. So just scroll it over, and then jump now, and you'll make it every time. Again, I don't know how many times I can praise the level design in this level, but, like, even, like, the first level was really good, but this level is, like, really impressing me with how, subtle things in the environment are making it a lot easier to, find stuff, I guess. And find, like, setups for stuff. Okay, so I had to test it once just to make sure, but that's definitely way too far for you to be able to kick it off the platform, so you do have to do it on the way up. I kind of wish I would have just tried to do it on the way up, but I really just wanted to confirm, like, for absolute curiosity that the shell wouldn't, like, do some weird thing, and, like, super slow kick off of one of these gray platforms or something like that. That Kaizo block got me again. So the hardest thing about that Kaizo block specifically that I'm now realizing now that I even know it's there is you kind of need a lot of momentum to actually kick the shell over that way and clear the muncher. So you kind of have to like stop your momentum and double back like basically on top of the shell jump, which is really tight. I know how to do it, but it is definitely one of the tighter jumps I've done in a while. Okay. Oh shit, I got it. Okay. Is it just this? Hold on. I'm not dead yet. Or not there yet. Yes! I got it. Okay.
Yay!
Whew. So that last jump killed me like 4 or 5 times because there's an invisible coin block in the way, and it's really tricky to get around it. But like I said, I just needed you here to root for me, I guess, because I couldn't do it at all.
You got it pretty quick since I've been here.
Next up is Pooh's Palace, which is exciting because I like Grand Pooh Bear, and I think this is a level made for him, which is cool. So see you guys next time. Bye.